morning, Eric.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. I mean, if you're watching, we do have some viewers, not a whole lot yet, but we're working on it.
Welcome to our newest episode of Across the Board with Dee Dee Mason and my co-host
Eric Reinert. I'm in Dallas.
That would be you.
Where do you live? You live in Scottsdale, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm
Well,
in Dallas,
you know what? They call it
Scottsdale.
Scottsdale, but it's really not Scottsdale. It's a Phoenix municipality with a Paradise Valley School District. It's
Okay.
very complex and confused little corner of the
It
world.
looks like Scottsdale to me when I'm there. So anyway, but you moved up from Phoenix to Scottsdale, right? It's much better.
Well, I've
Did you
always
ever
lived
live
in
in
this
Phoenix?
vicinity.
Did you ever live in Phoenix?
I've pretty much always lived in this general vicinity. I
Well,
was up
you lived in
Carefree for a
Carefree.
while, and I did do a 9-month stint up in Pine Top. That was
Was that bad?
You know what? It's just very isolated, and the community is very cliquish, and it was very LDS,
Ooh.
very Mormon,
Did they all have multiple
and
wives?
it just it was very isolating. So I was very, very glad when we decided to come back to the valley.
Well, I once spent
But that was
a month in Payson.
many moons ago. What's that?
I once spent a month in Payson, and that was no fun, no bueno.
No, this
Nothing
is
to
even
do with
worse. This is Pine Top
I
Lakeside.
I'm in Christopher Creek. I was in Christopher Creek, which was on the
I remember that.
underneath the Muggy End Rim.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the only interesting thing about it. Was the Muggy End Rim. And there was a
Yeah, I
lifeboat.
remember I went up there and we actually did a promotional thing for Christopher Creek.
Yeah, for Jason, the owner of Christopher Creek Lodge, and
then
he owned all the lodges in that area.
Well, we even wrote a horror movie skit. Remember that we were going to do up in Christopher Creek?
That I don't remember. It's been a while, but
it's been a while. But anyway,
those videos are still available on YouTube. The ones of you do at the Christopher Creek. There you go. We're losing.
Oh God, yeah. Those were some fun times. But at any rate, we are here to talk politics today. What killed me was watching an episode of MSNBC where they had been following this group of undecided voters. And okay, I now have my mail-in ballot, and I, for the life of me, cannot understand how anyone could be undecided at this point. I mean, it is between Hitler and Obama, pretty much. I mean, that's what you've got. Hitler or Obama. Female Obama.
Well, if you listen to some of these Trumpers when they're being interviewed, they say, "Who would you rather have elected? Putin or Kamala?" And they say Putin.
Oh, so, I know. It's really scary.
They do like the Hitler aspect of it, unfortunately.
They seem to be very, very focused on this strong man thing,
who whines and cries about everything.
I know. What's funny, they attacked Tim Walz because he was doing a little dance on stage. Have they seen Trump dancing on stage doing his?
I think that's when he's shitting his pants.
Like he's yanking two jocks at the same time. I could do two of you in a jail. He's practicing for his cell time. I think that's wise. Practice. And get that mouth thing going too.
Oh yeah, he's got that already. He's already had that his whole life, ready to go.
Yeah, his mouth really does look like a butthole. I mean,
it does. It's puckered.
It's not just me who sees it.
It's not just you. It's the whole world.
It's not just. But I mean, okay, so I'm watching these undecided group of voters that they've been following, and at this point, I think these people are full of it. I mean, there's no way you cannot be decided. I mean, and if you're not going to decide, then you're just not going to decide. And that's a vote for Trump. The fact of the matter is, the more people that vote in an election, the more Democrats win. That's a fact. They've run the numbers. And it is a
why do you
fact
think they're trying? Why do you think Trump's lawyers are constantly trying to go to all the swing states? They don't care about any other state. They just care about changing the laws in the swing states. So
yes, and yes, they try to eliminate voter registration. They try to eliminate access to the polls. They will strike ballots for any little reason that they can, especially in the Democratic district.
And in some cases, the mayor of the town will actually walk away with the ballot box.
Oh, yeah, we've seen that happening. And a sheriff, too. A sheriff went and picked up the ballot box, drop box in one count. Yeah, because it was sitting right in front of his office. I mean, oh my God, it's not secure.
I thought it was the mayor, but anyway, I digress. So yeah, speaking of undecided voters, I mean, what does it take to nudge them over the fence? I mean, what does it take? What have they not seen yet in order to make their minds up?
Yeah, what have they not heard? What have they not seen? It's like, did they watch what happened on January 6th? I don't know. Did they hear Trump say he wants to suspend the Constitution? I don't know. But he did say those things, and January 6th definitely happened. He is an adjudicated rapist. Now, mind you, that jury had a Trumper on the jury. There was a Trumper on the jury. So if a Trumper was convinced by the evidence that was presented, and the defense that was sorely lacking, and Donald Trump refused to testify in his own defense.
Yeah, what do you think that is?
Well, but they certainly had enough deposition from him where he actually claimed that he'd never met Jean Carroll, yet there was a picture shown to him of him and Jean Carroll, and he thought it was his wife, Marla. Yeah, but yet Jean Carroll is not his type.
Right.
So, they proved, and he refused to submit to a DNA test. And he has forever. And I wonder if that's because he thinks that there's some illegitimate children out there, or other women that kept their rape dresses that might have his DNA on it. Because she did, in fact, keep her dress because she thought she may need it for future.
She pulled a Monica Lewinsky.
Anyway, me personally, no, I would not keep it. But considering who she was dealing with,
I didn't ask if you would keep it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, because I said she pulled a Monica Lewinsky.
I heard that. Yeah, I did. No, I heard that, and I was like, yeah, it is kind of icky to think of keeping that. But considering who you're dealing with, I think Lewinsky kept it as a memento.
Who knows?
Jean Carroll kept it because her girlfriend told her, you're going to need evidence. Mm-hmm. And so she kept it. I guess she had it stuck aside in some box somewhere and, all forgotten about until she wrote this book where she stated that he raped her, and he began to demean her publicly, calling her a liar, horse face. I mean, just horrible names. And that was why he wound up in a lawsuit and was proven to be an adjudicated rapist. So, he really screwed the pooch on that one, and, is now an adjudicated rapist, along with a 34-time convicted felon. So I just cannot understand the mentality of these people. Kamala was a prosecutor. She prosecuted rapists. And
would you rather have the prosecutor or the rapist / 34-time felon?
Right,
and you're still undecided. You're still undecided, really?
Well, and then on top of that, there are still cases that he's going to have to face.
Oh yeah.
So, do you want to have someone in the White House who is clear of all wrongdoing and clear of any, federal violations, felons, rape allegations or adjudications? Or do you want this guy who is an adjudicated rapist and has stated he'll be a dictator on day one?
Just day one, though.
Yeah,
only day one. Just day one.
It's like, do you want Darth Vader or Skywalker? Luke Skywalker. Who do you want? John Wayne Gacy running the country, or John Wayne. Well, personally, I don't. John wasn't. But anyway, yeah, you get the gist. The bottom line was majority of them, which this gave me some hope, majority of them did say that they were leaning Kamala. And so they said that if they had to vote today, that their vote would go for Kamala. But then, these idiots who say, well, I'm either going to write it in or not vote for anyone at all. And the thing is, when you do that, you are harming the party that you most closely align with. So even if you don't like everything about Kamala, but there's just no way you could vote for Trump, vote for Kamala. I mean, come on. Now, if you, are a Republican and you're leaning towards Trump, you go ahead and write in a name.
Yeah. But I know people.
My personal advice.
I know people, relatives who have told me that they're going to just vote Democrat the whole way down the ticket, and he's going to leave the president blank.
How stupid is that?
And he cannot stand Trump. He cannot stand Trump. And it's like, well, then why wouldn't you just fill that one in? Fill it in for Kamala.
For Kamala. I mean, if you don't want Trump so badly, then vote for Kamala. Because if you don't, then you might as well have voted for Trump.
Absolutely.
And I suggest that you tell them that.
Oh, I did.
Because that's certainly what I've been telling people is that, if you leave it blank or you write a name in, you might as well have voted for Trump. So that's my
from the rooftops.
Yeah, scream it from everywhere.
I'm not telling just him. But that moves us into. Are you done with the undecided voters? Because we were going to now.
I think there's really not much more we can say. What do you say to these people? That's what I don't understand. How is it they cannot have made a decision? It's not like Kamala is bad. It's not, and they keep being told that the economy is bad. The economy is doing great. We're the U.S. economy is the envy of the world, and yet
like you said, if Kamala gets elected, then it's the whole country's going to be like Detroit. He said that in Detroit.
In Detroit, yeah. It's nothing like, going to a district, an area that you're trying to win and insulting them. That always works well. I mean, I'm hoping that works out well for Kamala. And not so good for Trader Trump.
I'm going to say a quick little prayer right now. I'm an atheist, but I'm going to go ahead and say a prayer anyway for Kamala. Kamala, please win. Jesus, dear Lord, and everybody up there in heaven, please make Kamala win. Thank you very much.
I'm an agnostic, but I'm right there with you. I'll make that prayer. You betcha.
And if she gets elected, I might believe in God.
Hey, God, if you let Kamala win, I'll go to church, dude.
Let's not get carried away.
Do you think you heard that? I didn't say which church.
The Rasta Church, man.
All right, Pastafarian.
So I was, mentioning somebody that I know, a relative who's not going to check that box for Kamala, but he's going to vote Democrat the whole way down. Other than that one, and so that leads us into how the Trump effect, as you called it last night, is dividing friends and family. Our country. I mean, you can't talk politics anymore. I'm not going to mention which of my relatives, because in case this gets back to them, they don't watch this shit, but you never know. But I've got a very close couple of relatives that just refuse to believe that Donald Trump is going to be a dictator, and that he's a fascist, and that he's a cheater, a liar, a fraud. They don't believe in any of that. All they think of is when you bring his name up is tax breaks. I'm going to get a tax break.
Well, I mean, I certainly have family, and what's shocking to me is that the males in my immediate family are for Kamala, whereas the females are for Trump. I'm mind blown. But one does live in Texas, so that might have something to do with it. My mother, who raised 6 children on welfare and was denied her right to bodily autonomy when she wanted to have her tubes tied after child number 4 when she was only 25 years old, is also a Trumper. So it is... I mean, the one in Texas, I can almost understand the mentality, because you're in Texas, first of all. The brainwashing that began before 2016, especially on Fox, has played such a huge part in Trump ever getting to office to begin with. The mental manipulation by the right-wing media, especially Fox, it was deliberate, and this was planned.
Still is.
Well, after Nixon lost, Roger Ailes and Murdoch got together with the Reich wing, as I call them now, and devised the fact, figured out the fact that they lost because they didn't have the media to, tell people what they wanted them to believe. That it was the media that took them down. And it really was, thanks to, in large part, to journalists, Bob Woodward and
Bob is still killing it today.
Oh, yeah. Benson. I think the other guy's name was Benson. But those 2 journalists took Nixon down. And that was where Rupert Murdoch from Australia, who had, already a foothold in Australia, came over and said, you people could win if you have the right media. And Fox was born and has ever since been manipulating the minds of Americans with their right-wing rags. The National Enquirer was in large part to thank for Trump. Yeah, I mean, the way that they went after Hillary and the horrible things, and people believe this crap. That's what, I mean, Fox News has been proven to be liars. They have been sued. They agreed to pay almost $1 billion for lying and defaming.
And yet they keep going. I mean, that's all they do is lie all day long.
Well, they continue to. They learned nothing. Well, the fact of the matter is, we don't have a good system for forcing the media to tell the truth. And the punishment does not fit the crime. So let's say I come out and I say, Donald Trump raped a 13-year-old little girl with his pal Epstein. Okay, now, I do have some documentation to prove that, but not, to prove it, because the girl, I think, was paid off. And that the millions of dollars that they're trying to track that was sent to Trump before the 2016 election.
10 million.
I think that's the money I think that money went to pay her off to make her go away. Because if you recall, she was right about to file that lawsuit for the 3rd time. Okay. Now, somebody does not come at a lawsuit that many times if something didn't really happen to them. Okay. This woman was terrified. But all of a sudden she went away.
Yeah. Just like that.
Where'd that money go? Where? Yeah, just like that. And we haven't heard a peep out of her since. I mean, I don't know. Did they buy her a freaking island? But we haven't heard. But see,
Yeah,
here's
it's
the
called
thing.
Lolita Island.
I can go off and I can say this, and nobody is going to, they can try and sue me. And even if they win, the fact of the matter is this is still out there. And that's what Fox knows, is once they put shit out there, it's out there. It's out there. And it gets repeated and spread.
And the stuff they put out is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the things that they do, I can't believe people believe this shit.
Well, and then when they get caught and they're forced to tell the truth, it's not done properly.
Right.
Scientific studies have shown that if you hear a lie, you need to hear the truth 20 times now from that same source in order to undo the lie. Or you need to hear the truth from a more reputable source 20 times on top of that one, just to undo the damage. And so they know this. The right wing knows this. So they keep telling the lie. And this was one of Hitler's or Goebbels' game plans as well, was tell the lie, make it big, and keep repeating it. No matter what anyone else says, keep repeating the lie. Repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. And even if you get sued and you have to come on air and say, okay, well, we got sued, they're not forced to tell the truth. I mean, to this day, Fox should be forced to have a crawler going across the screen saying, we lied, we lied, we lied. We had to pay almost $1 billion because we lied. And
even if
tell
they did,
the truth about what they lied about.
Even if they did, the believers, the MAGA believers, would not believe what they're seeing on the screen. They're being forced to do that. The liberals are forcing them to do that.
Yeah, a twisted court made them do that. A liberal court.
Yeah, all these Republican judges are so liberal. But
they're all. Even that, right-wing judge who stated during the January 6th hearings that Donald Trump should never be even within sniffing distance of our White House ever again.
So let me throw this out to anybody who watches this, if we do have anyone watching. I mean, eventually, right. But if you have any relatives in your family or friends who are hardcore Trump, maybe have converted over to Kamala, how did you do it? What did you say to them? Put it in the comments for us. I'd like to.
Oh, yes. I would be I would love to hear.
I've tried everything.
That's the thing, is it's like a wall. They did build a wall. They did build a wall around their brains. They built a wall around their brains so that nothing penetrates, nothing gets in but Trump.
There's like a keyhole, and only the MAGAs have the key to that wall.
Well, I mean, it's a fact. America has never been more divided than when we were during the Civil War. That is the last time America was this divided. So that's the other thing that, really bugs me about Donald Trump, is the way he deliberately divides people. Deliberately.
Oh, yeah, and then he has the nerve to say he's bringing everyone together.
No, it's just, and the mentality is just mind-boggling and mind-blowing. And you put out a fact to them, it's like, did you not see January? Well, that was like a tourist event. I don't recall on general tourist events through the Capitol politicians diving and hiding. I don't recall the vice president having to be evacuated
with Trump flags. Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't recall tourists smashing in windows and beating up Capitol police officers, sending 150 to the hospital.
And how many committed suicide after that? Wasn't there like 2 or 3?
I thought it was 4 committed suicide. One died as a result of his injuries from that day.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, they're the party of law and order.
So
they believe in the blue line.
So have you given up on your mom and your sisters?
I honestly, there is nothing I can really say, and I have to say that I love my family dearly. I really do, but I spend less and less time with my mother. I talk to her less and less. I used to call her regularly.
You were right. 4 officers.
I just cannot. What's that?
There were 4 officers who committed suicide after that. After the Capitol
that's what
riot.
I thought. 4 that committed suicide and 1 that died as a result of his injuries that day. And then there were dozens that were in the hospital for days after the event. Michael Falone is one that was in the hospital for quite some time.
He had a heart attack.
Yes, and he has not been able to return. What he found so incredible was how he was treated by his fellow officers after that. As if, how dare you complain that you were beaten up by MAGA rioters? How dare you complain about it? How dare you go up against Donald Trump, even though you were the victim of his horde of rioters that he incited to come and attack our nation's capital because he lost the election and was attempting a coup. And that's I just can't understand these people, and I never will for the life of me. And I mean, we kind of got into it yesterday via text because my brother started it. My brother, who's a liberal, a Democrat, a guy. That's what's crazy in my family. Okay, my brothers, all three of my brothers, Kamala supporters. My sisters. And my mother.
How many sisters do you have? 2?
Mind blown. I've got 2 sisters.
Yeah.
And they have daughters. So my one sister has 4 daughters. The other one has 2 daughters. Just, and it's like, okay, bless her heart, they're beautiful young women and very intelligent. And so is both my sisters. So are both my sisters. This is what I can't understand. These are intelligent people who should know better, who do know better. And the only rational conclusion is they have either been brainwashed or they're racist. That is really.
I was going to say something else, but I don't want to insult your sisters.
They've either become completely brainwashed or.
I think I've met one of your sisters. Have I met more than one of your sisters?
I don't think so. I think you only met one.
Brunette.
Yeah, the one that lives out here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you met her.
Oh, I thought she was visiting.
No. I don't know if you met Dana when she was. I said her name. I don't know if you met her when she was out here visiting. But I know when you guys came for Thanksgiving the one time, I think you met, my mom and my little sister.
I don't remember your mom, but I do remember your sister and your brother.
Anyway.
At
any rate, it really blows my mind, especially knowing our history, which I cannot divulge. So it just really, really blows my mind that either of them and my mother are Trump supporters. And
when I think of my family and friends who are Trumpers, it just blows my mind too. And I've tried everything. So I'm just at this point, it's, we're so close to election.
I have to stay away.
There's no way I'm going to convince them before the election. And so
I can't be around them. I can't be around them. I had 2 separate groups of friends that I hung out with for decades. Mm-hmm. And everything was fine. Then Trump came on the scene. And now
I know some of those people too. I know a lot.
Don't even want to be around them. Oh, I know. I don't even want to be around them because it just makes me feel gross. It makes me feel disgusting that I am hanging out with people that support a rapist. I can't do it. I cannot do it. A rapist, a traitor, a treasonous rat.
Bastard.
I have to. Well, that wasn't the word I was going to say, but I'm trying to keep it family oriented here.
You
watching the F bombs. I'm trying to watch the F bombs. But and he deliberately divides people. And the other thing that I've noticed is more and more how he is using the same words and rhetoric that Hitler did to divide Germans and make it more palatable to exterminate people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're vermin, they're animals, they're dogs.
And that is exactly the words that Donald Trump has been using. I mean, he started out by calling Hispanics and people from South America rapists, murderers. That's who they're sending. Turns out, no, the rapist and the criminal is you, Donald. But this is he attacked them right off the bat. He even went to during. This is great. He went to an anti-Semitism event held by the Jewish people. Yeah, and then went ahead and said something right out of Hitler's book. If I lose, you can partly blame the Jews. I'm like, oh my God. And then calling, certain minorities vermin. What do we do with vermin, Eric? What do we do with vermin?
Extermination.
Exactly. We exterminate vermin. He's getting the mentality ready. I'm telling you, if by some will of darkness, this rat, traitor, rapist winds up winning the election, I'm out of here. I mean, because everything's gonna happen very quickly. Their Project 2025 plans are for rapid.
They've been working on it for years.
First 170 days. They're going to gut administrations. They're going to gut our courts. They're going to gut every guardrail that there is against his extremist agenda and his dictatorship. Until there's nothing left, and we will become a Russia.
I've been saying this for a long time. I truly, 100% believe he will have executions, and he will be jailing and executing.
Absolutely. Well, this is why he's ginning up all this hatred.
You and I, we're going to be on that list eventually. He may not get to us immediately, but he's going to round up.
Well, we're small peons. I mean, people like Rachel Maddow and Hillary Clinton and Obama's. They're at the top of the hit list.
Yeah, Kamala, and now Walz is on that list, and I mean,
Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger.
Tony Raskin, and who else?
Schumer, Pelosi.
What's Moskowitz?
AOC. What's that?
Moskowitz. What's his first name?
Moskowitz.
Yeah, he's in the House. He's congressman. He's a really funny guy. He's the one that gets up there and says, "Come on, let's start the impeachment process." Remember him?
Oh, okay. I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah. But yes, these people, just like, I mean, they literally had a hangman's platform on January 6th that they wheeled out. Had they gotten access to members, they would have dragged them out and killed them. I mean, they literally would have. And I hate to say this, Eric, but I wish they had. Because if they had actually killed, if they actually had killed Pence or Pelosi or some member of Congress, I don't think Trump would be able to run right now. I don't think it would have been very different.
I don't think it would have been.
I do. I think that it would have been very, very different had that actually happened. No, because then McConnell and McCarthy and Graham would have been forced to actually do something. And I think that they would have been forced to go up to the White House and force him to resign that evening. I not only that, but if once he was removed, guess who would have had power if Pence had been killed? Pelosi.
But what if she was killed? Who's after the Speaker of the House?
Second in the House? Is it the second in the House? So then it would have been McCarthy. I guess it would have gone to McCarthy.
Yes, that wouldn't have been good. None of those people would be good.
On that day, on that day, they were all three stating, "This is Donald Trump. This is Donald Trump."
Everybody did. Everybody said, "This is Donald Trump."
I think if they had actually dragged a member of Congress out or killed Mike Pence that day, we would be looking at something completely different right now. And Donald Trump would be standing trial for those deaths.
I really don't believe
that. I think that things would be very, very different had someone actually been murdered that day as a member of Congress. Not that Ashley Babbitt, that he has tried to martyr since then. You know, the woman who was killed trying to break into the congressional floor to go and attack congressional members.
And the guy,
she was the one who was actually shot.
Right, and the cop that shot her gave warnings. He didn't just pull his gun out and shoot her. He warned everyone to stay back. He didn't want to kill anyone.
He did not want to pull that trigger. He was forced. And then for Trump to turn her into a martyr and to demand the name of the police officer so that he could disseminate that to his mob, his horde of idiots who would go and try to lynch this person. As he does on a regular basis. He loves to call people out and get his horde of treasonous rats, troglodytes, trailer trash, and terrorists to go after anybody who opposes him or says anything bad about him. Tells you the truth. No, can't have that. Can't have that. So he and his horde of media, his right-wing media, will literally put out these people's names, addresses, phone numbers, so that they can be terrorized by his troglodytes and trailer trash.
That's the whole point. That's why he wants to get. That's why he wanted to release all the jurors' names in his trials. That's why he wants to release people's names, because he wants them to be harassed and threatened. Until they fold like a cheap card table.
Well, I mean, even when the judges in the cases, he was going after their families. Anything that he can do, he and his people can do to intimidate.
And they're good Christians. They're such good Christians.
Good Christians. That's one of the other things that kills me is, when they claim that they're Christians. Christians, the Bible I grew up with, welcome the stranger, feed the hungry, take in the poor refuge, and none of this is being conveyed by the MAGA cult of Christians. They represent nothing but Nazi Germany.
Donald Trump is the chosen one, right?
It just
when they go about
what I find
Trump being the chosen one, that like really I'm an atheist, but that rubs me the wrong way. Using God, like he picked Trump, right? Like God would pick that guy. I think there's a lot of people out there that would be nicer, better, and
it's funny. I was reading something the other day about how in nature the most venomous, poisonous, toxic creatures are the most colorful and brightest. How did we not get the warning sign with Trump's orange body? He's emanating an orange glow. How did people not get it? Is it? Oh man. Just sick, and the way that they trim him down so much, and it's white Jesus, it's white Jesus. Notice the white fingers, and his light golden brown straight hair. They give him blue eyes too in a lot of those cases. I've seen where they actually make his hair blonde. Jesus was Hebrew, okay, and that generally means big lips, a bigger nose, kinky dark hair.
You're racist.
No, I am being factual as to genetic facets of their appearance. I mean, just like, look, if somebody came from Africa, are you going to put up a poster of a white person?
Here's a really good
maybe
one.
If they came from South Africa and apartheid, like Musk. But for the most part, if you're talking about an African person, you're talking about a Black person. If you're talking about Hebrew, you're talking about a Hebrew person. And the fact of the matter is, Hebrew, especially old time Hebrew, people, they had not yet mingled with, a lot of Northern Europeans yet. So yes, they were dark skinned. They had curly, kinky hair. More Arab looking, definitely more Arab looking. And you don't see that with white Jesus. These white Christians have deluded themselves into this image of a Jesus that they want, while they rebuke all the actual teachings and things that he said to do. I don't get it.
Well said.
Get it? Well, I never will. My little earbud thingies keep popping out of my ears. It's like
you got
shoving them back in.
You got the wrong earbuds. But speaking of things like earbuds, we don't sell those, but we do have some across the board T-shirts and mugs. Hey, show me your mug. There it is. And I fixed the mug. So now it says ATPS.
This little kitty cat stir is not available, but we should make it available. Can we find some kitty cat stirs like this?
Yeah, I don't know where. I mean, I'm sure we can find them, but I'm not going to be the one personally shipping them out when people buy them. So we use we have a system.
They have to come in like a pack of 6 or something. Can't just get one.
6 cats. All right, 6 stir sticks.
6 little kitties.
I have straws. They work just as well, and you can pull. I bet you can't do that.
I like my black kitty with his big yellow eyes. I think it works.
You can't suck liquid through it. I bet.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right. Well, is there anything else?
I can sip out of my cup like this.
What's in there?
Yummy.
Should I ask?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I think I already do.
Pineapple juice, dude. Pineapple juice.
Oh, acidic. We're in 42 minutes deep in this episode here, and I think I need to go get some to eat.
Are you hungries? You got the hungries?
I had a steak for breakfast, but I'm getting hungry again. Yeah.
Steak? Damn, dude. You eating good. Eating good in the hood. It's Texas, though, right?
That's my Sunday. Texas. My Sunday meal is the best meal of the week.
Oh,
I'm saving all my love for Sunday and my food on Sunday.
Well, I think that, this show was not as informative as usual, but I think it was more, talking about just things going on in general and for a lot of people. I think they're feeling a lot of the same thing. And just for those of you,
it's going to be a tough Thanksgiving, I'll tell you.
Well, yeah, tell me about it. However, I've got a weekend coming up next Sunday. I will not be here because I will be with my Trump-loving sister and my Trump-loving mother.
That sounds fun. Can I come?
You love to be a fly on that wall.
No.
I will be packing booze, my little flask, and the little nips, because that's about the only way I'm going to be able to get through it is if I'm plastered the whole freaking time.
No, that's not a good idea because you're going to get drunk and then you're going to just let loose.
Well, you know what? Shit happens, Eric.
Record that for me.
I can hold it as long as something doesn't trigger me. So as long as they don't trigger me,
they're going to trigger you. Of course they are.
Pull that trigger, I'm on fire, baby. Pull the fucking trigger, I'm on fire.
Well,
if you don't want bullets flying, don't pull the trigger.
Sounds like a lot of fun, and I wish you good luck next Sunday.
I'm not. Yeah, this is not. I love my family dearly, but I'm not looking forward to this. It's
Just don't want to hang with them.
Sad, but it's true. But you know what? I wouldn't want to go to my deathbed and go, you know what? I should have put all that shit aside to spend time with my family. And that's one of the things that really has bothered me the most about Donald Trump is, the heartache he has caused so many of us, the heartache, the pain, the misery, and he loves it. It's like he eats it up, and it strengthens and invigorates him to know that he is hurting people. That's part of this right wing is, those liberals, stick it to the liberals. And it's not about our country. It's all about sticking it to somebody, whoever it is, sticking it to somebody. Why? What is it with these Republicans wanting to stick it somewhere? Always wanting to stick it. I mean, I get that they're this, this macho, masculine, hyper, testosterone cult. And yeah, it's always about sticking it to somebody. We these people and those people, they always have to have somebody to degrade, blame somebody other than themselves, take no responsibility for things that your party has done, your party's policies, your party's actions, your party's people, take no responsibility whatsoever. Always point there. That's, Democrats were willing to self-analyze. We're willing to look at ourselves and go, okay, you know what? We were wrong. We were wrong about that. This person was wrong about that. I don't like that Biden did this. We're not afraid to speak out and say those things. But in Trump world, you have to have complete and total fealty and deny all facts and reality that they state and tell you, this is reality, this is not. This is reality, this is not. They're holding an apple and telling you it's a banana. And if you say it's an apple, you're the enemy.
Right.
But that's what's happened. And that's why it's so hard for so many of us to even grapple with what's happened, or to try to figure out how to talk to these people, how to get them back. I don't think there's any way. It's going to take a whole generation, just like it did after the Civil War. And I think that we really are there, where it's going to take a whole generation to get rid of this. And I hope that this is the time that we do this, and that we don't, wait longer to get rid of this guy. He cannot get back into the White House. If he gets back into the White House, this country's over. I don't mean to sound extremist or alarmist, but that's it.
I agree with you.
If Donald Trump gets back in office, this country's done.
And he's going to put his name on the flag, just like he does on all those little pins those cheap ass fucking gold plated pins he sells, that shit that he sells.
Or the Bibles that he has made in China.
China? Yeah, $3 Bibles.
Yeah, in China. Made in China.
Yeah. So anyway, let's move on out of this.
Wrap it up.
And so like and subscribe, please. And then also,
yes, please like and subscribe.
And show them your mug again if you want some of our cool stuff like the shirts and the mugs. And we have phone cases. I think there's 1 or 2 phone cases up there. There's some cool stuff up there. Okay, Carol Merrill, thank you.
Ben White over here. Would you like an A? How much are you willing to pay for an A? How about a T? How about a B? Anyway, all right.
Bye, everyone. And I'm going to leave you with that.
We'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Love that diaper. You know what? Politicians like diapers need to be changed frequently and for the same reason. Thank you, Robin Williams. We miss you. Oh, my God, what I would do to have that man here today. But anyway, across the board, over and out.